June 22nd. Tonight we have an open session with call to order, pledge of allegiance, moment of silence, public service announcement, department reports from water and sewer, then Department of Public Works. We have the town administrator's update, and then we have action items A through T, which I am not going to read. And then we go to old business, new business, correspondence, approval of minutes, citizens forum, executive session. So with the call to order, I'd like everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I would also like everybody to just take a moment of silence to think about all those folks that are struggling out there in the world today, be it in war, unfortunately fire, or any other type of issue. Thank you. All right, public service announcements. What's that announcements? Mary Lou?
None? Nope.
Okay, and
So, as you may all know, in March, the Daughters of the American Revolution dedicated a plaque across the street at the old burial ground in honor of revolutionary soldiers who are buried there. Not a good number of Sturbridge revolutionary soldiers. They came back on Memorial Day and gave a proclamation to the town, so I can take a second and read from the Daughters of the American Revolution. Whereas while the nation was still recovering from the horrors of the Civil War, people in cities and towns across the country gathered to honor those Union and Confederate soldiers who had given their lives celebrating their first Decoration Day. And whereas after World War I, the nation came together to honor those who had fallen in the service of their country, renamed Memorial Day, the last Monday in May, is when people remember and honor the memory of all the men and women who fought and died in all American wars and conflicts. And whereas throughout our country's history, thousands of Massachusetts citizens have fought in wars and conflicts to defend our safety and way of life, and whereas their legacy of patriotism and dedication to our country is an inspiration to all Americans, and whereas it is appropriate that all Massachusetts citizens remember the bravery of those who gave their lives so that their sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom, now therefore I, Morris T. Healy, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim May 29, 2023, to be Memorial Day, and urge all citizens of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. So this was presented to us, I think it was Representative Smola, brought the greetings from the state for us, and again, it was at a rededication ceremony from the Daughters of the American Revolution. So this was presented to the town by the governor.
oh, that's great. Thank you.
Through our representatives.
Well, thank you for that, Representative Smollett and the governor for giving it to us. We also, I do have a public service announcement from the Sturbridge Police Department. So, just so everybody knows, police departments go through large accreditations and they have binders of policies and procedures that are about this big, and it is a huge administrative lift, and there's a police accreditation commission that goes through, and just every few years it comes up, and it is a ton of work. And we're thankfully accredited again, and I just want to thank everybody in the department for their hard work to get us there, and just, thank them again for what they do, putting their lives on the line along with all the other public safety personnel. So with that, so thank you to them and congratulations. So with that, I think
Ditto.
What's it?
I said ditto.
I didn't open it for discussion.
No, that was good. I just wanted to show my...
So, but good on them and thank them for all their hard work. So then I think we are, unless there's anything else, I think we can go to department. And I think we're starting with you, Sean.
Good evening. I submitted the operation reports for both April and May. You'll see the water flows are up, but that's due to hydrant flushing in both months, which is typical. Everything else is pretty normal. If there's any questions on those, I'll start with those.
I have no questions.
Yeah, I didn't know.
The consumer confidence report was completed, mailed out to all the water customers. It was submitted to DEP in Boston, and the Mass Department of Public Health. The flushing is complete. The water ban, we're gonna stay in now. I looked at the limit this morning, just for people out there that don't understand, it goes off a river gauge, and the stream limit changes, once we get into July, but we'll be in it at least till July 7th. I check it every day. When we can come out, we'll come out. Until then, we'll stay in it, and we'll keep the signs up around town until that time. On the sewer side, we just completed the 3rd year of the I&I work. We are finding some deficiencies out there, nothing huge, but stuff that we'll be going back and repairing that cuts down on our I&I flow. It's also supposed to be a 10-year program. I have to go back and look and see what we've done and what we got left. I think we could be done this year, if not, probably at the end of next year, because it's a $70,000 bill every year, so we want to wrap that up and submit it to the state and get that off our books. The only other thing is PFAS testing on the water side's been completed. We're on a reduced schedule now. We will start PFAS testing in July on the leachate and at the landfill. Besides that, it's business as usual. Water bills, we'll be reading meters in right after July 4th. And maintenance and repairs and things of that nature.
So on the leachate on the landfill, so what is our expectation there? I mean, are we going to test in the water above the?
I can't say for sure, but you think about everything you throw into a landfill, and chances are that there's going to be PFAS in the leachate, which means there'll be PFAS in the wastewater plant. We know it's not coming from the water system, but we do have some industrial uses, not huge. So we're just going to have to wait and do the testing and see and go from there. Right now, it's just a report. Basically, the state just wants to know what we're seeing for numbers. And then I would imagine at some point, and I don't know when, down the line, there'll be some kind of limits.
And when we say some kind, do we expect that there will be some required remediation at some point alongside that, or?
I can't answer that. I don't know if it's, they don't want people drinking it. They're not going to want us putting it in the river. That'd just be my assumption.
What is that exactly?
PFAS?
Yes.
So it comes from like Teflon,
term.
non-stick pans, the firefighting foam that they used to spray all over the place, things like
So
that.
it's like a carcinogen?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
There's a movie that just talking firefighters all about it.
Okay, that's what I was
For cancer.
One of the
fearful of.
things that's a little deceptive about it, and we talk about this a lot, is that bottle of water you have
Right.
in some styrofoam that you microwave your. So while we're under heavy regulation, Commonwealth is far heavier regulated than even the feds right now. Just almost disproportionate. I think it's one drop equivalent, like an Olympic-sized swimming pool equivalent that trips. People are getting this every day when they drink bottled water.
Oh, I understand, but have we had this problem before, though?
No, because it was never really a thing until a couple of years ago. There's a new contaminant that we just had to start testing for. There's already,
But last year, we tested for it.
Right,
And
because
we passed.
we've passed all along,
Okay.
Water.
because we're mandated to.
But what about last year with
They did.
We had one hit, so, and that's the other thing, the testing is, it's not perfect, I can tell you that.
No, I'm just trying to understand, is this a problem we had last year, or it's not a problem we had
not
yesterday?
a
Or we
problem.
didn't test last year?
It's not, no, we tested the water system, now we have to start testing the wastewater.
So everything's gone well, we passed all the
Right,
tests
right.
below the standard.
Right.
But the anticipated issue is going to be that because now we're required to test all the water going through the wastewater
Yep.
plant, that includes leachate off the.
But last year, did we test the waste? We didn't have to test the wastewater. That was my question.
No.
So this is a new requirement for testing.
Part of our
So
new
we
general
don't know
plan.
if we would have passed all these years.
Well, I'll probably know the next time I come in front of you.
Likelihood of the passing. Wastewater is very likely not.
But there's no limit. So right now, it's just basically gathering information. And then out of that, it's usually then it comes down to a limit or what you're required to do. But right now, we just have to test for it. Like I said, the next time I come in front of you should be August. I should have those results.
What is the
The
reason?
water side, MMA. Out there right now. And. I think, I'm not. Those are all sort of following Our water going in. A little bit contamination can come from even this.
No, I understand.
So just so the public knows, we are looking. The mediation's gonna be.
But we've done 2 rounds of testing too, so we've done more than most. We jumped on the bandwagon when they said they'd come in and do it for free. We did that, and then the town did their own testing, and everything's passed to date.
I'm sorry, I don't know a lot about environmental law. So when we have to test the wastewater now, this is a new test requirement. Is this state or federal? State. So how about our other states following in a similar
It's a combined permit.
course of
It's actually
action
driven
or
by
not?
EPA. EPA is the person that drives it, so it's federal.
Right.
But the state is also involved too.
But is the federal government, is the EPA requiring testing of the wastewater?
The new permits come from the EPA.
Okay, so it is nation,
Numbers.
is, okay, so that's my question. The other New England states, what is their trip rate? Is it,
I don't pay attention because I don't work in those
I'm
other
just
states.
curious.
I know that.
I mean, I'm glad, to be honest with
It
you, that
started at
we're
80
more
parts per
stringent.
trillion, then it went to 20 parts per trillion, and then it went down again. And there's rumors out there that it could go as low as 5 parts per trillion, all of which we're under.
I will just.
Yeah.
So we're not just dramatically lower. And I only say that again, not to minimize that 20, but to remind people benefit of people shouldn't panic because right or wrong, we're exposed to it literally every day and every. Doesn't make it okay, but it is.
Well,
expected to.
it does, but other exposures are by choice, if you choose to use a Teflon pan or a water bottle. This is not, and that's a big difference. That's a big difference. I have another.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was
That's
like
okay.
signing a paper, so you might have already said this. I know you tested everybody's water, because usually my house is one of the ones that
For
comes
lead
around.
and copper.
Correct.
This
but
year.
This year, nobody asked.
We haven't done it yet. I have
you
to do
haven't-
it I have from June to September. And I emailed the state this morning because they've changed the month. And I just want to make sure that the month we test is the right month. You're required to do it every 3 years. This is the year.
Oh, this is the year. But I did get something in the mail that said the water was tested.
The
Water-
Consumer Confidence Report.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a report that we have to put out every year by EPA mandate.
Okay,
And it lists everything that the water was tested for.
okay, and we are good with everything.
We meet all the
But
requirements.
that other test that my house, that's an every 3 year.
It's every 3 years.
Got it.
So you'll be seeing a letter from me within the next month.
Got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you. Yes.
Maybe that's a sign.
Well, it doesn't seem to be plugged in.
I mean, that was everything.
And neither of the mics are plugged in, so that would, do I? Okay. I think it's a pretty hot mic now. Okay, so Heather, how are you?
I'm good. Nice to see everyone. I believe last time I was here, we already gave you April, so this month I only have May. Our summer report. I'm sorry I didn't do a DPW directors that I've done in the past, but it's been a little bit of crazy time down in my office for the last couple weeks, so it didn't happen. But you do have it here. We've kind of been business as usual. We've been concentrating on doing our catch basin cleaning, our street sweeping. We just started roadside mowing, so I think people will see us out there doing that. So we're getting to the point, we're almost done with all our street sweeping, which is great. So we'll start doing some catch basin repairs, some roadside edges. We've been doing a lot of maintenance on the different fields, trying to keep them maintained, do some work down at Turner's Field. We mowed back some of the edge brush so that we can get the project in there for the fencing. So we're starting to think of some of those long-term projects that are going on down there. I know that upcoming at Turner's, there's going to be some playoffs, so we have to do some more maintenance on the infield. Other than that, we are happy that we filled one of our staff position, which is great, which is helping us move some of those things along. Unfortunately, I believe you have a resignation for our assistant mechanic. So we add one, we subtract one. Kind of been an interesting, that's part of the thing. I feel like I'm always doing interviews and reviewing things. Tonight, you also have a recommendation to appoint operations manager, which I think will help me personally tremendously try to push some of the day-to-day activities off, get him trained on doing that, and allow me to do some of our bigger projects, as we have a lot of things to bid out coming up this summer and work going on. So the good news is our major construction project on Maple Street is wrapping all up. We're just doing punch list items, the little cleanup items. That was actually a very successful project. It comes right down to it. It happened very quickly. We had very minimal concerns. So I'm happy to see that that's getting finished, which takes some of the day-to-day burden off. Not that I had very much, because it actually went really smooth. So I knew things were going well when they weren't calling me about problems. So
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, I'm like, you did what? You got how far? Okay, good. That's good. You're already there? Okay, good. Yes, that's the answer that I like. So, happy to answer any questions. I will say one thing on the PFAS for the wastewater. Right now, there isn't any limit set in the wastewater permit. It's just monitoring. So all we would know is what is similar to drinking water standards, which in some cases, wastewater and drinking water do get the same limits, but nobody has a PFAS wastewater discharge limit as of yet.
Okay, that's good
It's
to
just
know.
a monitoring.
So we don't even know what the limits are.
Correct. And that's part of the reason, and they do this typically when they're going to put a new contaminant in that will have a limit. They basically want to see where the limits currently are. They want to see how big the problem and what the scale of the problem is. Some plants might be much higher than other plants, and they ask everyone to do these. They have unregulated contaminants of concern. So they put these lists out. It's not just always PFAS, it's everything, and ask you to sample so they can get background limits of where the plants are. It's
Now,
kind of standard
how
procedure.
often do they add a new contaminant?
Oh, they do these type of things both on water and wastewater. Every year, they ask us to do different samples. And it's-
But how often is a new contaminant added to their list of concerns? Not that often, right? I mean, I don't
It's
remember.
probably more often than you think, but you don't, PFAS is a hot button topic,
Oh.
and it's more,
Publicized.
And if you were in another state, it might not be. It's just that the Commonwealth regulated it so aggressively that it became a topic of discussion
Right.
for us.
very often you'll see California and
Yeah.
Massachusetts leading the
The
way
foref-
on these things, and sometimes Massachusetts just mimic California, but this time we're kind of taking the lead. And with some reason that we might have some more contaminated areas because of our historic of PFAS also follows history, some of it. If we manufactured it, we
Lots
had
of
it,
mills
lots of,
manufactured.
Textile.
so you find it in different places.
I have a
Good.
couple other-
Yeah, okay,
Is that
good.
okay, Jamie? Oh, okay. On the Maple Street project, you're going to retar that road? when
So
it's-
that's going to sit for a year so that those trenches can get a good chance to settle. Because if we went and paved it right now, you would have the risk of it settling and having holes in the pavement. The longer that we let it sit there with that temporary patch on it, the better final paving we'll have. So when we've already identified areas like, oh, this is sunk, so we need more asphalt here, so we want that to settle, and that will be in next year's paving.
Okay. Because the
Not
only reason
this-
I asked is I understood why this year, but it would be nice for the Memorial Day Parade if we are able to go to that cemetery. We didn't go this time because of the debris on Maple Street, apparently, according to our veterans agent.
I didn't talk to Mike about it, but that's.
Oh, okay, yeah, we were there. The parade did not go down that
So
road.
it will
So I'm
be-
just hoping that
It
we
will
are
be
able
clean
to.
enough to walk down the road.
Oh, okay.
It was still
nice.
construction going on as well
Yeah.
at that
At
point.
Memorial Day, we weren't done. We still had
Okay.
equipment down there and.
But
yeah.
it's still safe to go down even if it's not paved in time by
Yeah,
next May.
all the trenches are paved. There's pavement there. It's just not fresh, nice
Okay.
new pavement.
No, I know, I go
What
down
we
there
can
quite
do
a
is
bit.
make sure prior that if there are any areas that have settled dramatically and
We'll
it's not paved, we'll make sure that it's level enough to be safe for the Memorial Day.
All right, and then one other question, and then I'm done. So the fence at Turner's, I know a few FinCom members expressed concern at the town meeting about the amount of overgrowth and et cetera.
we're-
When that old fence is removed, will you be able to address all of it before the new fence goes in?
So I have a meeting with conservation.
Just talked about this today.
So Becky and I are going to meet down there and we will look at how much overgrowth and how many trees we can remove. If you know that area, we are right alongside of the river.
Right.
There's a limit to what we can take and what we can remove. So I will work with Becky to be able to maximize trimming back that as much as we can. We went and trimmed the undergrowth back with our machine, but there is still a lot of tree branches. And at this point, I think I'm going to have to hire, which I don't have funds for, equipment to be able to just limb branches. I can drop trees a lot easier than I can limb branches. So, because I don't have a bucket truck, so we would have to rent that equipment. But I still have to work that with Becky out.
Because obviously we would want to do whatever we can before the new fence is in, because then we could, right, interfere with the structure of a brand-new fence if you tried to get in there after
Well,
the
if
fact.
you're working on with a bucket truck type of situation, you're going up in the air, so it would be right.
okay,
we'd
either
be
way.
over the fence.
Part of the point that I think Heather was trying to make at town meeting was that in order to maintain all that overgrowth, we need that larger fence to get in and out.
Right,
But once that one is in, we should be able to get a lot of our equipment that will do the maintaining that they were so worried about, we'll actually be able to get in and do on a routine
No, I was
basis.
glad you added that.
Yeah, that was
because
important.
Otherwise, it would have been a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, recreation has been told for years, you're not maintaining the fields you have. That's why we're not going to give any new fields at town meeting. And
But we could.
now they're trying to do it. So
Couldn't go
anyway,
in
I
and
just
do it.
was
No,
curious.
and I mean, if you even talk to everybody that's using that field, they're very happy with the amount of maintenance that we tried to put into that field. Now, yeah, I went down there today. There is vines and growth that we spent hours and, days and days and days. Manpower can only go so far, until I'm basically wasting manpower hours. I can't have someone there every day of the week just trimming the brush back. What we need to do is get a good path of it trimmed and be able to keep it trimmed and back. Because those vines, they're so
pervasive.
aggressive right now and invasive, like literally, and it's not just poison ivy, it's the intertwining, it's everything. But we're working on it, we're trying to, but we need to be able to get in there with mechanical means to remove it and keep it mowed.
And now
That's
this
the
new
only
fence will allow for that.
Right, will allow us,
continued
when we
access.
take the old fence down, we can really get in there and mow
Well, that's what-
everything
that was
back.
my question.
And then be able to put a new fence and be able to get in
Still
back
be able
of
to
it.
get in there, which we were not, was the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exciting, actually. I'm looking forward to that project.
All
It is
right,
progress.
very much so. Well, thank you for that. And I said it to you a moment ago, but you did a great job at town meeting. I
Thank you.
thought you were well-spoken and made the issue really clear, Heather. So with that, I have nothing else. Mary Lou?
No.
Mary?
No, I'm done. That's like enough already. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good for the night.
What's that, Heather? Thank
Thanks,
you.
Heather. She's not quite done yet. We'll
Yeah,
have
I'm
her
not
back.
leaving.
I'll
We'll have her
in
back in a minute.
All right, Miss Robin?
Yes, so very quickly on the Public Works front, I need the approval of the board, or with your approval, I would like to just draft a quick MOA. When we were negotiating the DPW contract, one of the discussions that came up is when they hit their anniversary date and they're due for their raise, the old contract does not give them their raise until the end of that payroll date. So if you happen to hit your anniversary the first day of payroll, you don't really get your raise, you almost lose 2 weeks of the raise. And they asked if during contract negotiations I would consider having that raise happen on the date of their anniversary. So I'm just asking for board approval to just rewrite that section of the contract to indicate that they would get their raise on the date of their anniversary and not have to wait till the next payroll period, because it's inequitable. Some people might only wait 1 day, some people are 13 days before the raise.
Totally reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
Beautiful.
it.
So I will draft an MOA, you can pass the word along. I think, believe it or not, that will be such a huge morale builder, that it was such a point of contention, and it had just slipped my mind because it was a discussion we had, and it was a relatively small item, but it really was something that mattered to them. So thank you very much, they will be pleased for that support. On to myself here. So we haven't really, you had the goal setting, but it was ultimately for the next fiscal year. Per my contract, I had agreed, even though we have 3% merit raises for the people I give merit raises to, I had agreed in my first year to accept up to 2% because you all had come up a little bit on the salary to bring me in. So the first year, for July 1st, you would have to make a recommendation to send to Barbara for what you would want my increase, if any merit increase to be. I get the 2.5 that everybody else gets. Our merit people get up to 3. I agreed to up to 2 for the first year. But I also, the language is ambiguous, but it was supposed to be only for the first year that I'm capped at the 2. And then it was open after that as to whether or not you wanted to make it the same as the other merit or whatever. It's not addressed. So just 2 items. First of all, you kind of are going to need to let Barbara know if you want to go to the 2. And then secondly, just an understanding that that was for this year, and then next year it would be probably likely, I would imagine, be on par with the other merit raises that I give to my chiefs and Heather and
You need a
finance.
motion to that effect?
I need a motion to that effect, I think would be appropriate.
I'll make,
You're good.
I'll make a motion that we authorize a 2% raise for our town administrator for fiscal year 2024. Or, right, is that for the new fiscal year? or is
New
this for
fiscal
this
year, yep.
past
In
year?
addition to the base 2.5, just so that
Right,
I don't want
that's
anybody to
automatic,
think.
though.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hide that, I want to be transparent, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
thank you. On the same vein of me for a second, I have 88 hours of vacation, may I have approval to carry those over?
So moved.
Second.
I was going to tease you, but no, I'm
You're
not
gonna
going
tell me I have to take them all now.
I was like, no, she's going to take me seriously, so.
Well, no, Mary, you're the one who always tells me I need to take my
Yes.
vacation, so
Well,
I was waiting for her to make a comment,
When you
actually.
usually take a vacation day, you say, I'm available by phone, email this, call me, and I said, if it's not an
I
emergency.
have a lot more than 88 hours,
It's
actually.
it's not really a vacation day, so.
The other part is we probably need to have a performance review conversation too, because you probably are about due for that too, right?
So you all set my goals in January.
Okay.
We have it.
So we're kind of on an off cycle, so I would say that probably a little later in the year to make sure we can
That's fine with
establish those. I could give you an update on those goals, though, at any point.
No, that's fine for now. I'm fine
Okay.
with doing it.
And you
for
have the
evaluation.
Memorial Day proclamation. And one thing quickly, I would like to thank our Trails Committee, Brandon Goodwin, Tom Chamberlain. We'd gone through, Jean Boubon worked on this, I worked on this. We received $250,000 in MassWorks grants, $80K for one project, $155 for the other. So one is the Riverwalk, the bridge, and then one is the other project. So just thank you to that committee for working so hard to get a MassWorks grant. So
Yeah.
it's great money, $230 some odd $1,000.
That's awesome.
They work really hard.
They really do.
I mean,
It's a
all
great-
our committees do, but it's also physical work.
Yeah, there's
because
physical work,
As
there's
she
a-
said, the
yeah.
weeds grow, and our trails are, when I have friends who visit, they
Beautiful.
comment how amazing our fields.
Absolutely beautiful.
Our trails are, not fields.
Well, and also Jean though, because this is just like one of the things Jean just gap fills and gap fills and gap fills and gap fills and gap fills. So just the Jean.
Yep.
And give her all our hard work.
And we did have a very productive meeting with DOT a couple weeks ago. Todd's helped us, Representative Strolla helped us coordinate with state-level DOT people about the Noble Energy Project to at least get that building open while DOT discusses corridor and changes. I mean, I just went by an accident on New Boston today on my way over here, back here. But we had had some issues. They were trying to push the issue of a roundabout in front of the new EV center. Mike Noble is paying $2 million out of pocket, Mike Frisbee, $2 million out of pocket from Noble to put a light in, was willing to put $2 million into putting a light in. The problem with the roundabout was going to be, we were going to have to take land that the bank doesn't want to give. We were going to have a town meeting to take land. Nobody's very much in favor of taking land people don't want to give. Anyway, we had a very productive meeting with DOT. We are hopeful that they will allow for a light until which time they decide to do a corridor adjustment. So that was very productive, and I want to thank Representative Strolla for setting that up. We really appreciate the lift from the State House on that one. So thank you. That's it for me.
All right. I think we're on to the action items unless you guys have anything else on those.
I had a question, but I can ask him to throw a business. I can do it now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Robin,
I was going to do it under old business, but I know we talked about you inquiring of the Mass DOT if we can adopt those triangles where the businesses, I mean, they let the businesses adopt it, so I can't
Yeah.
imagine they wouldn't let us.
I did not, I'm waiting, I wanted to kind of get through this one
Oh, okay.
issue first, and once I do, I want to make sure we were all in good terms and friendly at DOT, which things seem like we are. So, I didn't want to, sometimes if you ask at the wrong time, you get a no. That is not it. So, I think maybe in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I can ask that question.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, I don't even think it's going to be controversial.
I don't
There's
know.
already 2 businesses
Yeah.
that have put,
We basically want to adopt it, so, perfect.
all right,
Okay.
so I think now we are on to the action items. All right, so consideration and possible action on the appointment of Thomas Boudreau to the DPW as the operation managers. Come on down. Just a note that on the action items, it lists a salary of $88,000. It's in fact a salary of $89,000. Out of 1 for that.
Good evening.
All right.
So, Tom Boudreau.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Very excited about coming to town. Heather's kind of knows my experience level a little bit. I'm really excited to try to help her out and see what the venture brings.
And you have municipal experience, right?
Correct.
Right, also, I think that's important. He's worked in a municipal
Yeah,
setting.
you were in Warren, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
He had municipal experience, he can drive our big trucks, he's got hydraulics licenses, so he's going to provide us a lot of flexibility in that way. Has experience with snow plowing, so hopefully that will end snow operations. But we're not going to get snow anymore, that's my new thing. It's just
No more snow.
global warming,
Just
you know.
ice.
Well, I'd rather have snow than ice, thanks, JV.
It seems to be ice now.
Yeah. Ice
So-
is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that ice is much more expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah, any questions from the board? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Thomas Boudreau to the Department of Public Works as the operation manager with a starting salary of $89,000 with 2 weeks vacation upon starting.
second.
All right, all those in favor? Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Welcome aboard. Look forward to working with you.
God bless. Yes.
Thanks, Heather.
Congratulations and
Thanks,
welcome.
Heather.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, next we have B, consideration and possible action to confirm the appointment of Maura O'Connor to the Municipal Affordable Housing Trust Committee for a term to expire December 19, 2023, to replace Mr. Luciers.
So Ms. O'Connor comes to us well qualified.
Hello.
And has background in real estate, assessing.
Not assessing.
Not assessing,
So I'm
real estate.
actually a town treasurer for the town of
That's
Wellesley.
treasurer.
But I also have a real estate license. I sold for many years. So I think it's a good fit, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I know we had met several months ago, in the fall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before we met.
So you had another opening, and I'm interested.
Awesome.
It was an impressive resume. Can I just ask, what made you pick Sturbridge?
For what? To live?
Yeah, no, for the job.
It's just a
Oh,
board.
it's the housing committee.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
It just met tonight, I'm on it. There's no
You're on
salary.
it? You're on it?
He's on it.
But I mean, you work in Wellesley,
I actually am the town treasurer for the town of Wellesley.
so
right.
you have you want to live, you have quite a commute.
I do have a commute, yep. It's, yeah.
So you still could have asked her that question.
It's back to pre-pandemic levels for sure, the traffic, but it's a great town, and I was working out there in Wayland, same position, just different town, so I've been doing the commute for a while. But I'm like 3 minutes to the Pike, so it's,
It's a direct shot.
That's not always a good thing either. Sometimes the back roads are better than the pike.
yeah, but I'm in the Pike the whole entire time.
Yeah.
There's no
Straight
other
shot
way.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I will make, are we ready?
I'm ready, Freddie.
I'll make a motion to confirm the appointment of Maura O'Connor to the Municipal Affordable Housing Trust Committee for a term to expire December 19th, 2023, which is the remainder of Robert Lucier's term.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Welcome aboard.
Excellent.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry about the confusion there.
Everybody's really angry. Sorry, Mary Lou, I can't help but tease you. All right, we are on to consideration and possible action on the application for a temporary dock permit for Hope Heartland at 111 Shore Road, Sturbridge. Evening.
Evening.
Okay. Robin, what's going on here?
Jill, you want a brief? Just a permit application coming in?
Permit
Yeah, standard
application
permit.
for a temporary dock. I submitted pictures of the frontage.
Yep.
We will take it out in October or, before it gets cold.
There was nothing that raised a red flag
seen
on
anything
our
either.
end.
Are all the docks temporary?
Not all of them, but most of them are.
Okay.
We find that probably 85% of them come out. Some of them, I think, are older cottage homes that have been there for a long time or on I-beams, and those don't come out, but that's very few on Cedar Lake.
Okay.
Carrie, anything?
No, I mean,
All right, I don't have anything either. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application for a temporary dock permit for Hope Harlan at 111 Shore Road, Sturbridge.
second?
All
Thank
right.
you.
All those in favor?
Enjoy the summer on the water.
Enjoy yourself.
If we ever get a summer.
Huh?
If we ever get a
You
summer.
ever get a summer?
Oh, when
might have
it's
ice.
coming. It was a beautiful day till the downpour.
Yeah, technically, today's the first day of summer.
That's right.
All right, let's keep going here. This is the proposed expansion of the impervious area at the senior center.
So this just requires a vote of the board to kick it forward. It's gone through zoning, it's gone through conservation. Needs to go in front of planning, but part of the process that Jean Bouban outlined is that you all have to vote for this to move forward for review by planning. It's part of the senior center renovation project.
Yeah, her letter made sense to me. Any questions from the board? All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the proposed expansion in impervious areas at the senior center as set forth in, I think we had a letter,
That was a letter from Jean Bouton.
as set forth by our town planner.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are on to the consideration possible action to confirm the appointment of Jen Russell to the Sturbridge Rec Committee.
So, because somebody graciously joined this board and chose to run for this board, we had a vacancy on recreation. Mr. Rossel had come to...
Rossel,
excuse
yeah,
me,
that's my
had
fault.
come to my office to chat with me a little bit. He had also run for the position and was the next highest vote getter to second to the person who got the position during the last election. And it would be proper protocol to go that direction. And also, Mr. Rossel was just tremendous when I spoke with him. His commitment to the youth and to youth sports and programming it was just admirable. So I highly recommend Mr. Rossel for the
I
position.
think he'll be a great addition. I seriously do.
I know him as well, and the only reason, he comes up short is he's not a campaigner. It's hard to
Yep.
campaign, but our son had him, and what I think is really remarkable is when it says, I still do what I do regarding youth athletics, even though my kids are well into their 30s. I mean, plenty of, and this is good too, but plenty of parents are very involved while their kids are that particular age, and then they kind of move on with them. And he has been devoted to the youth regardless of whether or not he has any relatives. So I strongly support him as well.
All right, then do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we appoint Jim Rossel to the opening on the Sturbridge Recreation Committee for a term to expire April 8th, 2024.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor? Okay. Moving on to action item F, unless there's discussion. This is an action to formally dissolve the 2021 Charter Review Committee, and I would just move that we do so unless there's conversation. Okay, so I move that we act to formally dissolve the 2021 Charter Review Committee with our thanks for the hard work of the committee.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? All right, we are on consideration and possible action on the job description for the Sturbridge Farmers Market Manager position.
So all three of these next positions have gone through the Personnel Committee. Just FYI, they've all been considered in the FY24 budget. This first one is to replace the market manager who had resigned. The market has been running for the past 3 weeks very well. Annie has been, obviously, it's now under recreation. Annie's been doing a great job getting it going, but we would still like to have that stipend. It's a $2,000 stipend position. But it never was formally approved through personnel and the board, the position, because it was a stipend position out of an ad hoc committee. It never actually went through the formal approval process.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we looked back through the records. SEC had created it, but we never.
No, but we had to get approval by the board because it was a monetary item.
Then it never went through the personnel committee then.
Okay.
So
I-
this was
I-
officially running it.
Because I remember discussing it,
Okay.
and when Mary was our chair, it was before, obviously, the two of you were on it. But because it was a stipend, the SEC came, and if it didn't come
That's
up in the
possible that it
minutes,
did,
I'm
yeah.
almost, positive on that.
It may well have come to you. We know it didn't go to personnel though, and so we just figured we'd.
Yeah, because I don't think the money would have been dispersed just based upon a committee voting it in. So,
Shouldn't have if it was
I-
so.
like I said, I'm 90% sure
Okay.
that we came forward. But anyway,
It's out of an
the
abundance of
personnel
caution,
committee,
then, that's fine.
perhaps not.
Yeah.
But, I mean, our prior TA had a contract and everything drawn up. A job description and
Yeah,
everything.
yep, and we
But I
based
think
that
she
and
also had
revised
to, well, I don't want to go there, but I do think that it did at least come to the board.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
It might not have amounted to getting into our minutes of the meeting. That's my
Okay.
feeling
We just
on
wanted
it.
to make sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a
Every
good
I was
thing to
dotted,
do it.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Yep.
So any questions or concerns about the job description as written?
No?
I had none. Mary, anything?
No?
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the job description for the Sturbridge Farmers Market Manager position.
I will second that. All those in favor? All right, similar, we're moving on to the center office, building pool, receptionist, and administrative office position job description.
So again, budgeted for, budget approved at town meeting, personnel committee reviewed this and graded it at a step 2.
Any questions about the description as written?
I'm sorry, I didn't have a good opportunity to look at this one.
Right.
Is there,
You're done.
messages, weekly account,
Yeah, the grade has to be
monitors?
corrected.
Is there anything that discusses learning about is there anything that like addresses the fact that this person's going to try to be trained to do more than just answer the phone? Because I know you had discussed that you would, a number of department heads wanted,
Yes.
their more time for their own. And you had said that this person, to the extent possible, will not, develop expertise, but be able to have the skills to help the individual departments, and I didn't.
All of those
Where is-
basic administrative assistant items would be universal. Drafting letters, Excel, Microsoft Word, Excel. They're not going to be expected to know conservation. They're not going to be expected to know
No, but I thought they were
buildings.
going to try to learn something to be.
Yeah, but that would be part of the general description of an.
Because all this just really talks about, like, answering the phone, and
Well, I mean, well, it has in all other duties, but I think it talks about computer skills. I mean, basically, it's an administrative assistant. I don't want to have it too specific because I also want that person to be able to come over here at tax collection.
oh, no, I agree, you want it broad, but,
It's truly a pool clerk. So, I mean, the expectation is that they will learn to do payroll. They will be able to do basic Excel spreadsheet work. They'll basically be able to do Word Perfect or Word, be able to do letters. Because what they're going to pick up is the extra administrative work from those departments. I mean, I didn't specifically reference the individual departments in it.
no.
But I mean, I think it's
Okay.
sufficiently broad where you can build it into
I
the sort
kind of
of.
wanted to,
All
that's,
right.
yeah, I was a little.
Well, I just didn't want to, right, but sometimes I don't want somebody coming on board,
Yeah.
I don't mean to be cynical, coming on board and saying, oh, I didn't know that I had to help to that extent individual departments. This is beyond my job description. I actually want a little bit more money because it's not spelled out. That's more my concern. You know what I mean? If they have to develop any expertise at all, say to help conservation, because I know that department would have liked more admin help. I just don't want this person to say, I really was supposed to just answer the phone, make copies, and then want more money.
I think one of the things we lack, though, is a very generalized administrative assistant, and that's one of the problems. So our admins tend to be very specialized in the areas that they're in.
You know what I'm saying,
I
though?
do.
If they learn more
Absolutely.
skills, I don't want them to say that's beyond what they were required to do.
Yeah, I think
Okay, as
we
long
are
as that's-
covered. I think we're
Okay.
covered because they would not be expected to make judgment calls involving any, they wouldn't, a permitting
No.
judgment call or a
Well, no one
conservation
can do
judgment call.
that.
Right, and, or even advise, if you will. So
Well, no admins are doing that. I just
No.
want to make sure
I think we're
that they
covered.
can actually help the individual
yeah, I mean,
departments.
assistant payables, monitor staffing through the day, maintain
Okay.
schedules, writes, types, or enters information into a computer. So for example, if they need an abutters list, I would consider that a computer skill, being able to navigate and do an abutters list.
Okay,
So I think we're sufficient there.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go into the detail that you're
No,
anticipating.
no, I don't, not necessarily detail, but there was a lot of concern by department heads that, they wanted help
Right.
themselves. So I want to make sure the person is going to do more than just answer the phone when it goes to voicemail. And sometimes what I see is people pointing out and saying, there's nowhere, that's not in my job description. So I know
That's the labor- that's
you want it broad, but at the same time, you want it specific enough for them not to come back and say, I wasn't told that I'd have to do that. Because this isn't going to be a high-paying admin job.
It's logical, but I think it's something done through soft skills. So Robin, can you just make sure that
Yes.
is defined
Yes.
in the conversation?
I also think I also don't want departments to put an unfair amount on.
No, it's going to have to be a
this
wait and
person.
see.
So I think we have to be careful. Yeah, I want to be.
There's going to be a period of calibration.
It will be there'll be a little learning curve on this.
Of course.
Okay, so do I have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve the job description for the center office building pool receptionist and administrative assistant position.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Okay.
We have been getting applications in. we should
Oh,
have said.
good.
We've actually, yeah, because we couldn't put the description, but we posted the position. And we'll see once the description goes up what people think, but.
All right, well then I'm going to actually I'm going to skip around a little bit so you two don't have to wait. I know Becky loves it being here, but, all right, Becky, why don't you come up, because I think we're on, oh wait, no, this is the action on the job description, right?
Yeah, so this is the.
That's the next page, I think, is Becky.
Outreach, yeah, so the next page is Becky.
Yeah.
The bottom one is the senior center position. This went through personnel. There's no change in the budget for this. This is an adjustment that Leslie asked for so that she could have another, sort of a number two person when she left.
We'll get to that in a second. We're
Oh,
just
you're
gonna
gonna-
do-
oh,
we're gonna-
okay, so
I'm
you
just
are
going to do
gonna
them so they can get
Okay.
out of it. Becky, well, does Becky need to talk on this one? I don't think you do.
No, she doesn't really need to talk. If she lets you want to, you can.
No, unless you want
Yeah.
to. Anybody, so this is consideration and possible action on the job description for assistant conservation agent position. Did anybody have any questions or concerns about that?
No?
I didn't either. Do I have a motion? Oh, sure, of course.
Becky Gender, Conservation Agent. Only thing I wanted to add is that I'd like to get support to try to make this a full-time position next year.
Okay.
We're the only land use department that doesn't have that. Really wanted to work towards, getting this assistant position this year, and then maybe we can get that to full-time next year.
Now, when you say that again, we're the only town that what?
Well, the only land use department that still, we only have a full-time and a part-time. Everybody else has at least 2 full-time people. So that would be really helpful. And it's not a big change. We have 30 hours right now we have an allotment of 75 hours a year for meetings. So it averages out to like 31 and a half hours. So it's not a big increase, but we'd like to try to move that forward next year to a full-time position, hopefully. So.
Makes sense.
And you're saying towns of our size do?
No, she's giving it to other towns.
I just mean, yeah, our other land use departments,
within
planning,
building
zoning,
and planning.
health.
Yes,
Planning,
okay.
yeah,
I
that's
thought you meant you already looked at other, I get it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it varies on the town, but there's a lot of towns that are moving towards, agent and assistant agent positions like we're proposing here too, so.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's a lot of work there. So, okay. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns? Becky, anything else?
Nope.
Robin?
No.
You need a motion?
Yeah.
Oh, consideration, I'll make a motion that we approve the job description for the assistant conservation agent position.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, that's easy. And now on to our friends at the Public House.
Oh, I just have one more.
Oh, you have one more?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
She's got one more.
Where is that? Oh, the Wild, I'm sorry. Okay. We are on to consideration and possible action for the continued use of wetland protection funds of $12,056.20 to supplement the Assistant Conservation Agent's proposed salary of $44,877.45. Okay?
So just to add for this one, here's my thing on that. So historically, we've looked at taking out 5 hours a year, or 1 year we did it for 10 hours. This year, it's still for 5 hours, but for the change of position, we had to add that in there too, based off what we were allotted for the general fund.
It's what funded, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then just each year.
We've done this for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then next year, maybe we'd have to look at what the balance we would take out of the wetland fund versus the general fund would be moving forward. So I just have one other comment too.
Okay.
With the assistant agent position, when we went to personnel, it was graded as a grade 4. I'd like to just have the opportunity maybe to look at that and maybe go back to personnel in the future. I just feel like that was graded a little low for the responsibilities for the position.
I think that's a discussion we have to have with the personnel.
Yeah, that's not, let's talk
Okay.
about that in the future.
Okay, yeah, I just
That-
wanted to bring it up, so.
But no, we understand.
I kind of looked at other towns that have agent positions and assistant positions and kind of looked at what the difference of the salary was, and we were pretty high compared to what theirs was. Ours was like 30,000 of a difference versus some communities were 10 to 15, 16. So I just,
So Becky, I know it's a discussion for another day and with personnel, but I personally would benefit if you put it in writing as to why you think that it wasn't an appropriate grade level. If you
yeah,
can
yeah.
put,
I mean, I wanted
document
to
why.
move this forward, but I just wanted to bring it up. I know they're not asking you to.
Well, yeah, I mean,
make a
I just
decision on
wanna
that.
see
I
it.
just-
there's a different process for that.
Come here first.
It's
No, I know, I just want to, when we discuss it, I just would rather have something in writing, that's all.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I said that because I did have that concern, so I just wanted to make a record of that.
It's fair. But I think right now, let's stick with what we
Yep,
got. And
I
we'll
agree.
Work the future as the future comes, you know?
That's all.
Okay, do I have a motion on K?
I'll make a motion that we continue to use wetland protection funds in the amount of $12,056.20 to supplement the Assistant Conservation Agent's proposed salary of $44,877.45.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? All right,
All right, thank you.
thanks, Becky. Now I think we're on to you, sir, sorry. I jumped the gun.
Michael Glick from Public House. Thank you for taking me early.
How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Thank you for everything you do for the town.
Well,
If I
thank
could
you.
take a second
Thank
to
you.
say
Yes,
thank you.
definitely.
Always a
Much
lovely celebration we
appreciated.
have outside of Memorial Day and the dedications and
Perfect, we like to be a partner.
part of the town.
Hello.
All right, so you're beginning alcohol beverages an hour early, is that the?
Correct. We currently begin on Sunday at 11 o'clock, and we're seeking to get approval for 10 a.m. This is really not for our restaurants aren't open at 10 o'clock in the morning. We haven't served breakfast since 2020. So it's really for private functions, bridal showers, that one mimosa stations.
About to say, they want
Horses.
mimosa and Bloody Marys a little
Exactly.
bit earlier.
Correct. That's what it was. So it's not the tavern's not going to be open on Sunday at 10, for alcohol. Well, that was to be closed. It's really private functions, showers, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I have no questions.
No.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah, bridal showers,
Get
baby showers too.
Not a rush, as long as the business.
All right, to that end, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Public House changing their hours of service for alcoholic beverages on Sundays from 11 to 10 a.m.
Second.
Sorry. On that note, do you want to change it for Saturdays too, or?
We already have it earlier
Oh,
last
it's already at
Saturdays.
10, okay.
I think Monday through Saturday is 8 a.m. currently. Just Sunday had the later date.
Okay. All right, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, the ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I ask you
Thanks.
something?
Have
Have
a
you
great
now recovered from the pre-COVID? Your weddings back? I mean, I love to see the parking lot packed.
Close. This year is a down year for weddings. And I don't think because of COVID. No, because
Like
we
getting
had.
married.
I'm not sure. We have 30 less weddings this year than last year.
Yeah.
Which is significant, but our competitors are in the same situation. But as far as our hotel room revenue, room revenue is close to 2019 actual. Some of that's rate driven, we're charging more, for the rooms. So room nights sold year to date are lesser than 19, but close. Restaurants, Our dinner business is down 50% to where it was in 2019 in our restaurants.
We're seeing it on our local receipts. This is interesting that restaurants during COVID survived more than we thought they would, and yet the hotels obviously dropped. But now we're seeing statewide, they're seeing hotel revenues are up, and it's an
Our
interesting.
lunch business is only down 20%. And again, our prices are more expensive.
I was going to say, public house is reasonable, but I will say this, because I like to eat out. The restaurants are, I mean, they've just increased their prices a lot.
And that's
And I
food,
think
food
people
driven,
can't handle it.
food price driven and labor cost driven. You know, our labor costs are significantly higher. We're paying, cooks $20 an hour today that made $16 3 years ago. So that's what's driving that. I need to say that our restaurant dinner sales are down because our operating hours are lesser.
That's the other
as well.
thing.
I don't have enough staff to open. So I had an owners meeting this week, and I said if I had more staff to open later, it would not be, our business would be bigger or better if we were open longer. Like on Sunday, we close at 5. We used to be open until 10 on Sunday. That's 5 hours early. And we close at 7. Tonight, the restaurant closed at 7 o'clock. You can come in at 7.
Lack of staff.
Lack of staff and lack of wanting to work a longer shift. Not my current staff. I could hire somebody today who wants to work on a Tuesday and leave at 7. But if you want to have someone who will work on Christmas Day as well, like we're open we never close. And so to work for us, you have to work on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and those kind of people don't want to commit to that, which, heck, if I had things to do over again, I wouldn't do either.
This generation might have something on us.
They might have a point, right?
They may have a point. They
I've been there for
do
20 years, and I still work
every
every Christmas, every Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm there every day. So I can see why they don't want to do that.
days we
I have a question. Are you going to bring back prime rib?
Eventually, but.
These are the important
Eventually, yes.
It's an important question.
important stuff.
It is. I love the
Lobster,
prime.
like lobster pot pie, that's been on our menu since forever, and that's been off since COVID, but lobster pot pie, we don't have that either because the cost is so expensive.
Well, your blueberry cream pies are coming back. I already checked, since I wanted to take it
That's
the
probably, 2 weeks.
28th.
28th? You know,
what I was told.
She knows more than me.
Chicken pie never went away. Your
Wednesday
chicken
the-
pie never went away, thank God,
No, it did
because
not.
it's delicious.
Price driven.
It's priced right. Now I'm hungry.
But it's the blueberry cream pie.
And it's the
a
pecan rolls, because
Have
you
you had
know
blueberry
we're
pie, Rob? Have you had blueberry pie yet? The blueberry cream? That's the
Blueberry
best.
cream, everyone wants them.
Shop, we're living it out of here. Take
Well, yeah, and if we let them keep going, you will never get out of here, so I'm gonna let you move on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ross,
Did
nice
we
seeing
vote
you.
it, or were we too busy?
We voted
Oh,
it.
you did vote it. I got so caught up on food.
All right, so I think we're
We gotta
just,
go back.
yeah, we gotta jump back to the assistant.
Yeah.
We have to do the job description for Assistant Director
Yeah.
Outreach Coordinator, so I.
So
intend to
that's,
do
yeah, no, that's,
that.
this is Leslie's, this is basically to have a second full-time person for her if she's not there,
Sure.
there's somebody there.
Yeah,
It didn't impact
definitely.
our budget, she lowered her salary, hourly salary and increased hours, and it all balanced out. Leslie made it work. And she asked for support on that, and we agreed, and went to personnel, and everybody's happy, so.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the job description for the Assistant Director Outreach Coordinator position.
Second. All those in favor? Okay, so then I think we're jumping up to M, which is consideration and possible action on the hawker and peddler license for Denifest Walsh for the sale of farm fresh fruits and vegetables at Empire Village, parking lot area, Route 20, Sturbridge. That means
I could have to add to that one.
That's the one that's there every year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Corn on the cob.
They have the best corn on the cob.
We're back to food again.
All right,
I assume that's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the application for a hawker and peddler license for Dennis F. Walsh for the sale of farm fresh fruits and vegetables at Empire Village parking lot area, Route 20, Sturbridge.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Okay, we are on to N, consideration, possible action, authorize the chair to execute the contract with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, DCR, for the 469A Main Street Trail and Bridge design. This is great, seems great to me. I don't really have anything else to say about it.
This is our parking lot
Yep.
to the bridge.
To the bridge, the new bridge. Yeah,
Yay, we've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
I'll make a motion that we authorize our chair to execute the contract with the Commonwealth Department of Conservation and Recreation for 469A Main Street Trail and Bridge design.
Second.
All those in favor?
One thing, there is a misspelling. contact versus contract.
Oh, yeah, look at that, to execute the contact.
Sorry.
No, thank you.
I could read it a million times and still miss it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Going on to item O, similarly, just execute a trail regarding the Grand Trunk Trail River Road engineering and
And
permitting.
these are both related to those MassWorks
Grants,
grants
yeah.
that we got, just to be clear, these are grant related, so we're excited about
This is
these.
very exciting.
Yeah, I'm really happy about this.
Do you have any discussion, or do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to execute the contract with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation for the Grand Trunk Trail River Road engineering and permitting.
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Moving on to P, consideration of possible action on the letter of resignation from Derek Ames for the Sturbridge Police Department. I will make a motion to accept it with thanks and regrets.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, well, similarly, consideration of possible action on the letter of resignation from David Bond for the Department of Public Works. I will similarly make a motion to accept the letter of resignation from Mr. Bond with regrets and thanks.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, similarly, Exhibit R, consideration and possible action on a letter of resignation from Jennifer Babcock from the Sturbridge Council on Aging.
We
Again,
want to thank her for her great work.
yeah, and so just, again, thank her, well, and everybody who
Yes.
volunteers, but thank Ms. Babcock for all of her hard work for the Council on Aging. All right, so I will move to accept her letter of resignation from the Sturbridge Council on Aging with thanks and regret.
Second.
All those in favor?
A lot of resignations.
Yeah,
It is the
it's
season.
Sadly.
hard to keep people. Retention is not easy.
Yeah, so moving on to Marita to the consideration and possible action on the reappointment of Marita Tassi to the Sturbridge Lakes Advisory Committee for a term to expire July 17, 2025.
I'll make a motion to so appoint Marita Tassi to the Lakes Advisory Committee. She does a great job.
Yes, she does. I'll second that.
Perfect, and all those in favor? On item T, consideration and possible action on the reappointment of Sherry Kelleher to the Sturbridge Lake Advisory Committee as the Lead Mine Lake representative for a term to expire April 18th, 2026.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? All right, now we are on to old business. Mary Lou, any old business?
No?
Mary?
No, I only had one, and I already raised it about the adoption of the triangle
Yep.
earlier, so.
I do have one that I want to bring up. We had a woman come up in front of the board a few weeks back about a dock that was crossing
Yes.
into, yeah, it went out, but it also did a right-hand turn in front of her property. We have reviewed, we cannot find any record of a permit for that neighbor's dock at all. So I would like permission of the board, or you as dock commission, as the harbor master, if I could send a letter asking that person to produce his permit for this dock that's crossing into her property. If he does not produce, if he happens to have one that we have missed somewhere, that's fine, but we also then need to talk about the fact that there are regulations that the dock cannot be in front of someone else's property. If he does not have a permit, then I also would like, at this point, if you could just authorize me to look toward how we would take enforcement action.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we'll draft a letter. Okay, thank you, that's all I have.
Okay, and I have no old business. New business? Mary Lou?
No?
All right, I guess school's out.
I do want to wish everybody a happy, healthy summer.
Yeah, stay safe, stay smart.
We have a wonderful school system. They give a beautiful exit, I guess is what I want to say, to the sixth graders out of Burgess.
Oh, nice.
They just do a call. I was there today, and they're just given a lot of support by teachers, administrators, parents. All the bus drivers get a rose, which is just really
Great school.
It's a wonderful town to raise your children in, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And
So,
Rocky just sucks up all the attention he can get.
all right,
Bring a dog.
correspondence. I don't think we had anything other than from the chief.
Yep.
And I've already discussed that. Approval of the minutes. We have June 5th, 2023 and May 15th, 2023.
Oh, hold on.
Take your time.
I just mixed everything up. I didn't think I had any corrections, though, but,
I didn't have any. So
oh, thank you. Yep. Good.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for June 5th, 2023, and May 15th, 2023.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, and we're on to citizens forum, which there's nobody here. With that, we have an executive session. That's why I need a motion to go into executive session and not reopen.
Do we have pursuant to, et cetera?
Yeah,
I know, sorry, I mixed all my
That- yeah,
documents.
that-
Right here, I got the, Yeah,
That
we
came
have to
directly from
yeah.
our legal counsel, the way that's written,
Oh, yeah. It's just in the thing.
the general one.
I'll make a motion pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to pending litigation, where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares.
Second.
Okay, I think don't want to open, we want to.
And not to reconvene in open session.
Okay, and second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Oh, do we have to do so how we vote?
And you so declare.
Yeah, I so declare. Mary Lou, how do you vote?
Say yes.
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 And I vote yes, so.
As we